right, good morning. We're going to start with our shoulders rolling up, back, and down. We're going to add those elbows, open that chest, bring those arms up, back, and down. Bend those knees, get a little extra movement into it, maybe widen that stance so you can get full body. And then this time you're going to come up, you're going to bring your arms into that cactus position. Pull your shoulder blades back and down, and then bend your elbows to gently tap on the back of the head. And as you do that, try not to shove your chin forward. Gently press your head into your hands, pull the ribs down, and then try to widen the elbows. So all three things at once. You should feel a stretch across your chest and your arms. You should feel that elongation through your spine, and a little bit of ab awareness as the ribs pull down. So every time you inhale, think grow tall. Every time you exhale, pull the ribs back and in, but open the elbows a little further. Inhale tall, exhale, open and pull ribs down. And one more time, inhale tall and open and pull ribs down. Woo, shake that out. Hopefully that warmed up that upper body just a little bit. All right, staying nice and tall, we're going to step out with that right leg. We're going to turn the left toes in. We're going to bend that right knee a little bit for balance. We're going to lift and tap that left big toe. You are turned in, so you're going to feel that a little bit more on that outer hip. And then if you want, you can add on bending and straightening that right leg as you come up with that left leg in that turned out position. So we should feel this in that outer hip and maybe starting to feel it in that right quad and glute. Two more. And then keep the right knee bent, lift that left leg up, turn the toes in, and you're going to lift, lift, lift in the air. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Ow! Bring that up over with that left leg. And then hips go to the left, arms go to the right. Step forward with that left leg a little bit, step back with the right, and then roll through your cat stretch and inhale through your cow. If you have the flexibility to straighten the legs without curling the tailbone, do that. And then give yourself support with the right hand, left arm up and over, and that should be a nice kind of final stretch. Okay, weight on the left leg, right leg turns in, so really turn it in from that hip, bend that left knee to get some activation of that quad, and then again we tap and lift, tap and lift. And if you want to add on, you straighten that left leg as you lift that right leg, but you're really targeting that outer glute area. Two more. Good. Keep that left knee bent, lift that right leg in the air, turn it in and lift, 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 lift. Oh, bring that down. Whoo, right over left, hips go to the right, arms go to the left. And then widen your stance, separate those feet, come down, roll through a cat, inhale through a cow, straighten out those legs, but support that left hand. Right arm up, lift, and shake that out. All right, as we come to the back of the mat, we're going to find that nice wide stance again. Bend those knees, roll through your cat, and inhale through your cow. Or if you're at home, you can howl at the end of the full wolf moon. Beautiful. Bend those knees. We're going to walk it out. Bring those feet in. Find your high plank position. Shoulders back and down. We're going to do tiny elbow bend and straightening. Keeping those abs in the whole time. Head in line with your spine. Good alignment. Working those triceps a wee bit. 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees. Rock it back. Bring your hands together. And then as you sit back, if you bring your hands back and down and walk the elbows forward, hopefully you get a little tricep stretch. And then take that bottom arm, flip over onto one side, lengthen out your body, long straight line, abs in, excuse me, waist, lift that waistline, lift that top leg, bring it forward, up, back, and down. And as you do this, try not to let that whole body move with it. So if you need fingertips here for stability, that's fine. A little more challenge is that hand on the hip. But notice that the rest of the body stays nice and quiet. And then reverse your direction. You're going to make the circle as big as you feel like you can without the hips moving. Relax, bend that bottom elbow, bend that bottom knee, and you're going to take it and tuck it back. And then we're going to press up. So this is kind of a baby side plank, but you've got a lot of support here. Don't let this hip droop. Keep it up. And then that leg comes up again, and we're circling again. And reverse. And as you come down, the bottom knee is bent. All you're going to do is sit up, cross the leg that you just worked over that bottom leg, but try not to rock off your hip like that. So the hip of the leg that you just worked, press it down as you pull the knee apart. So both at the same time should give you that stretch across that outer hip. And then tuck that knee underneath you as you lie down on the other side. Waistline lifts, abs in. If you need support here, that's fine. So your goal is to make the circles as big as possible without wobbling through the hips. And reverse. And relax. All right, then we prop up onto that bottom elbow, tuck the top knee back, lift those hips, try and stay in a straight line, leg at hip height, and circle there. And reverse. And bring that down. That bottom knee is still bent. We take the leg that we just worked, bring it gently across, try and drop the hip, but pull the knee across both at the same time. If you round, you'll be missing out of that stretch, so sit tall. And then uncross. And wow, that was a rude warm up. All right, sitting up nice and tall. Feet, ankles, and knees can be zipped up touching, or you can be hip distance apart, shoulders back and down. Exhale, give me a little hinge back, ribs pull in. Inhale, open those arms into a T, lower the hands, come up, inhale. Exhale, try that T again if that was okay with you. You don't have to do that at all. Exhale, maybe this time you try cactus arms, lower those hands, inhale. Exhale to move, inhale cactus if you want. Exhale, deep breath in, exhale, maybe you try a V, lower those hands, inhale at the top, exhale, hinge back. And then final option, of course, is to bring those arms up by the ears. You figure out which one is working best for you today. Whichever one you're doing, you have 4 more. And on this last one, we'll hold it back, abs in, ribs down, ears over shoulders, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk those feet back and roll it down. Take a little rock side to side. We're gonna put the left foot on the ground, right toes point up in the air. Take your two peace sign fingers to the hip bones, and that's gonna be your checkpoint. You don't want those hips rocking and rolling. So with that head nodded yes, gently press the head and the shoulders into the ground and start a very small circle in one direction, and then go the other way with your toe drawing a circle on the ceiling, leg circles. Inhale to start your circle, exhale to finish it, and then reverse directions. Your challenge is to not see that left leg moving around and to not feel like your hips are moving at all. So if you had a beverage on that hip, you wouldn't spill it. If you have the flexibility to straighten that left leg out on the ground, let's do that. And then bend that right knee, give it a little hug in, put the right foot on the ground, left leg points straight up in the air, tighten that quadricep to get that leg nice and straight, and start your tiny circles in one direction and go the other way. Again, your challenge is to make the circles as big as possible without the hips moving, just like that sideline version we did. And you are welcome to stretch that right leg out on the ground and flex through that heel. And we're gonna bend both knees, feet go outside of your mat, arms out in a T position. We're gonna drop the right knee in, let the left leg drop open to get a beautiful hip flexor stretch, because that last exercise sometimes gets those hip flexors involved. And then come on back up through center, drop the right knee in, or excuse me, the left knee in, the right leg drops open, feel that stretch on the left. And then as you come back to center, straighten both legs, point your toes, arms reach up overhead, deep breath in. Exhale, bring those hands right above you, lift yourself up. And then with your legs straight, we're gonna inhale, arms up and over. So ab prep, but with straight legs, unless that really bothers your back, in which case you're gonna go to bent knees. So we exhale to lift, we inhale to reach those arms overhead, but keep the ribs and the abs flat, and exhale down, deep breath in. Exhale to lift, inhale to stretch and reach. You don't even have to lift your head. You can just reach the arms overhead, but not let that affect the ribs and the abs. And exhale, center. And again, if you prefer, you can absolutely have your knees bent. And then we have one more. You're going to reach those arms overhead, whether you're lifted or not, whether your knees are bent or not. We're just holding here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in, and then stack them tabletop. Hands right back up where they were. Extend that right leg and that left arm in opposite directions. Don't let that left knee sneak in. Single leg stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, right arm, left leg, abs in. Inhale, center. Other way, right leg, left arm. Inhale, center. And then back to center, both legs, both arms, double leg stretch. You can keep your head down or you can keep it lifted, but you're not coming up and down. Last two. Last one, let's hold it, reach through the toes, reach through the fingers, tighten the quads, point the toes, fingers overhead, and then hug that in. And let's do a nice bridge here. So we're gonna start with our big toes touching, knees together, ankles together, everything squeezed together, hands down by your side. Press your head, shoulders, elbows, and hands into the ground. Neutral spine, then lift straight up for your bridge. All right, you can hover your hands or keep them down, but we're gonna lift our toes, pivot out, toes come down. Lift the heels, pivot out, wider stance. Lift the toes, pivot out, lift the heels, pivot parallel. And if you've got the flexibility to go one more level, go one more level. Otherwise, toes come in, heels match them. Toes come in, heels match them. Toes come in, heels match them. So basically we're doing what I would call a little crab walk, right? So you might take 2 steps out, you might take 3. Heck, I don't know, some of you might take more. But as you do this, I know your hips are gonna come up and down a little bit, but try to minimize how much the hips move. Get that movement in the outer hip, right? Not going up and down, but opening, right, wider and wider, and then closing more narrow and more narrow. And then next time your feet come to touch, stay there, squeeze everything together, 4, 3, 2. Woo, bring that down, left leg straight, right knee into your chest. Get a nice little stretch here for that right hamstring. You can move it a little bit to the side. And then right leg goes out, left knee comes in. Same thing. And then that right knee will join it. And we're gonna roll those knees to face the camera. All right, so keep that top leg on the angle that it is, but straighten it out and then straighten the bottom leg below it. So your legs aren't down by your hips, they're out in front a little bit. Lift that waistline, flex through that top leg, bring it forward, give it a little kick, kick, and then reach it long. So it's exhale, kick, kick, inhale, reach it long. And the goal of this one also is to try and keep the hips quiet, not a lot of movement of those hips rolling forward and back, and also keeping that foot on the same level so it doesn't go up and down as it moves like that, right? Straight, straight, and reach. Just a couple more. One more time, straight, straight, and reach. And then once again, you're going to bend your elbow underneath you. Knees come in. This time we're crisscrossed at the ankles. Top leg in front of the bottom one. We want to protect this shoulder as we do our side bends. So push the shoulder back, lift up out of it, engage, and then side bends, all we're going to do without moving the feet is straighten the legs. Then you can stay there and do a tiny move and up. You could do a tap and up. You can come all the way down and back up. That's a lot on the shoulder. So you figure out which one is best for you. And bring that down and all the way over to the other side we go. Legs are out on that angle, so you're hinged at the hips. Lift that waistline, pull your abs in. Top leg lifts in a flex foot position, kick, kick, and reach. Inhale, kick, kick, or excuse me, exhale, kick, kick, inhale, reach. And then just as before, a little more challenge to have your hand on your hip, but if you need the stability, put fingertips down. and relax. Crisscross at the ankles, bend the knees, top leg goes over the bottom one, elbow underneath you, push the shoulder back, lift up out of it, engage those lats, and here we go, side bend. So you're gonna lift up by straightening those legs, and then it might be a tiny curtsy, it might be a tap, it might be all the way down. You're gonna choose. And then as we come down, we'll pivot over onto our abs. Forehead rests on your hands. Stretch those legs out one at a time. So toenails are pushing into the ground, kneecaps lift, and then find those abdominal muscles to lift the belly button, but press your pubic bone down, arms out to the side, thumbs rotate upwards. Deep breath in. Exhale, gently lift the head and the arms so they're out of your peripheral vision. Small movement, kneecaps are lifted, pubic bone pressing, toes pressing, and relax. Deep breath in. Exhale, arms, head lift, holding, pressing, and gently down. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift. So this is more about the upper body than the low back. Upper shoulder blade area. Lift those arms and the head, press the toes and the pubic bone, pull the belly button and the knees up, holding, and gently down. Once again, deep breath in. Exhale, lift the knees and the belly button, holding here. And relax. Two more. Last one. And relax. We're gonna, well, not really relax. Take a break. And then bring those elbows underneath you, hands apart, shoulders back and down. Pre-plank, collarbone back, chest lifts, belly button and ribs pull up and in. You're on your knees and your toes. Next option, roll onto the tops of your thighs, all 10 toes point to the sky. And then next option, tuck those toes, lift those knees, press to the heels. Almost there. And relax. I promise I didn't freeze. Sit back in your shell stretch. And then as you come forward, hands out, undulate forward and back, cow cat or cat wolf. Oh. And then let's square it up, hands right underneath you. Find those ab muscles to pull them in and to pull the ribs in, keeping the tailbone long. So we're not tucking to get those abs in. Shoulders out of your ears. Let's walk those right hands and left toes back. Press into the left toes, then walk forward and back. And then lift that leg. You can still rock forward and back, or you can lift that right arm. And again, you can do a gentle forward and back. If that bugs you, just hold your bird dog, or you can tap and lift. And gently bring it down. Roll through your cat and inhale through your cow. Extend that tailbone, pull the belly button in, right toes back, left fingertips forward, rock forward and back a couple times. And then do the same with your leg lifted and stick with that, or lift the arm and again forward back, or stay there, or tap and lift. And relax. Rock those hips a little bit side to side. Get some organic movement. You can do what we call a barrel roll. So you roll and then extend to one side and reverse it. Roll and then extend to the other. And then go ahead and slide your feet through so that you're in that seated position and can lower yourself down. Hug those knees in. And then find tabletop. So knees are stacked right over your hips, arms out, T position, palms to the sky. Press your knuckles, your wrists, your forearms, your shoulders, and your head gently into the ground. And then pull the belly button in and the ribs down as you go into your toe touch. As always, you can do single leg or double, whichever is feeling okay with you today. It can be a toe touch or a heel tap. If you're doing both legs, you can always pivot those knees open, heels together. And final option is for that long lever, either single leg or double leg. And hug those knees in, take a little break. We're gonna go back to our bridge, different version this time. But again, we're gonna start with ankles and knees and toes touching, if that's okay with you. If that's too uncomfortable, you can be hip distance apart, hands by your side. Press your elbows, your shoulders, your head into the ground. Keep that gentle press there with at least your head and your shoulders. You can hover your hands if you want or not. Straighten that right leg out so it's squeezing up against the left. Again, if you hover your hands, you're going to feel that more on that left glute and hamstring. Don't have to do that. You're going to move that right knee 1 inch open and then tap to the left, tap to the left. Tiny movement, tapping in, tapping in, tapping in. Almost there. Bend that right knee. Let's stay. No, we're taking a break. Come on down and then lift it right back up again. Abs in, ribs in, shoulders and head on the ground, but hands can hover. Straighten out the left leg, still touching the right knee. Stick with that or open, close, open, close. And bend it, drop it. Woo! All right. Cross that right ankle all the way over the left, crisscross knees on top. Let the knees drop left, please. Mosey on back through center, let your knees drop right. Uncross, come back through center, left over right, drop to the right. And then back up through center, drop to the left. And back through center, uncross those legs, stack them back up tabletop. We're gonna let them move side to side, using our head gently pressing into the ground, shoulders gently pressing to keep our stability. And then if you want, you turn that into a little circle. You're going to reverse the circle every time. So knees go right, through center, left, come back down, and then they go left, up through center, over to the right. And then, of course, if you want, you can make this that long lever. So it turns into more of our corkscrew. And through center, hug those knees in, take a little rock. Left foot on the ground, hug that right knee into your right shoulder. Maybe give it a couple of circles in one direction. And then the other. And then you're going to cross that right ankle over the left thigh, but keep the left foot on the ground. Press the right knee open and use your left hand to go through your fingers, separating, or excuse me, through your toes. So using your fingers to separate those toes and then move them side to side and forward back. Movement through those joints. And then bring your hand maybe on top of the toes, push them back and down, and then press the toes against the hand and put the hand behind the toes, press the toes against the hand, and then push the hand against the toes, but resist. And then maybe a little massage down the foot, little shake of the heel, and then that right knee comes in, and we use our right hand to pull the toes back. And once again, getting movement through that foot, right toes pulled back by the right hand. We're going to straighten. If you're still holding, that's fine, or move the hand to a more comfortable place. Back through center, bend that right knee in, tuck the left leg behind it this time, and reach for that left knee. And then we'll draw some circles on the ceiling and go the other way. And then right arm to the side, knees come up and over to the right and stay there, or left foot leads you to twist to the left. Use your left elbow, bring all that back through center, uncross your legs. Hug that left knee in. Make some circles, get some movement through that hip. And then cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Left hand is pressing it away. I'm going to put those fingers between those toes to create space, create movement. And then again, hands on top of the toes, push up against, and then curl them under. And then hand behind the toes, push them the other way, and then let the toes win. And then you can move your hand down the arch of the foot, maybe give some movement through the ankle joint. And then we'll hug that knee all the way in. Left fingertips, pull those left toes back. Again, creating movement through that ankle and that foot. Straightening it out, leaving it there, or moving your hand down. And then cross it all the way over the right knee as you tuck that right knee up and in and move everything to your right shoulder, left arm to the side. Stay there or twist into it. As you come back through center, arms and legs reach opposite directions like we did to begin. Point the toes, but then flex the heels, tuck the hips under, press the low back into the ground, still stretching, but getting a stretch on the back side of the body. And then point the toes, reach through the fingers, front side of the body gets a stretch, and then exhale, flex and tuck. And then from that tucked position, you can either roll up or roll over or some combination to bring yourself all the way over onto your hands and knees, please. And we'll do our undulating cat-cow or cat-wolf, hands out front. Articulate that movement, take your time. And then hands right underneath you, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and press up and back. And then wide stance, walk it back, hands on your thigh, or elbows on your thighs, cat and cow, and then hands on your thighs, cat and cow. Big deep breath in. Happy Saturday.